Chapter 35. Supreme Saint's Soul. The moment the azure ancient profound bird appeared, the giant dragon next to the Saint Meteorite Mountain let out a furious roar. Its aura skyrocketed, and in an instant, its strength had risen to a whole new level. The giant dragon's lantern-sized eyes stared at the huge wings that blotted out the sky and covered the sun without any emotion. Its body was covered in raging flames, as if it was going to burn all the living beings in the world. At the same time, it was roaring continuously. Xiao Yan looked at the huge wings in the sky in shock, and felt a wave of dizziness in front of his eyes. What was going on? Even the azure ancient profound bird was drawn out. A sharp cry seemed to have come from the 9 heavens. As the huge wings flapped, the azure ancient profound bird's body shrunk rapidly. In the blink of an eye, it shrunk to 1,000 meters in size. Due to the fact that there were very few ancient trees within 10,000 miles of Saint Meteorite Mountain, Xiao Yan could clearly see the face of the protector of forest domain. What entered his eyes was an extremely huge black sparrow. The black feathers on its body were shining with a dazzling light, making it look extremely beautiful. At the same time, strands of black flames were dancing around the black sparrow, and some fragments of the space where the black flames passed fell to the ground. The tail of the azure ancient profound bird was not a single black feather. Instead, it had long feathers like a phoenix tail, making it look extremely elegant. The fire dragon looked at the nearby azure ancient profound bird, pondering for a moment before suddenly saying, "It really is you, little black bird. I haven't seen you for 10,000 years. Your strength is still at the same level." The azure ancient profound bird was startled when it heard this. A moment later, an extremely cold female voice came out from the latter's mouth. "I never thought that you would really be alive. The great battle 10,000 years ago almost destroyed the forest domain. What do you want to do today?" Hearing the cold voice of the azure ancient profound bird, Xiao Yan was stunned. He didn't expect the powerful guardian of the forest domain to be a female. Xiao Yan shook his head. With his strength that was not even an ant in the eyes of the azure ancient profound bird, he could actually hear the true voice of the azure ancient profound bird. It was like a dream. When the fire dragon heard this, he sneered. "With your strength, even if I wanted to do something, can you stop me? How dare you? Do you think this was 10,000 years ago?" As one of the guardians of the forest domain, the azure ancient profound bird naturally had its own pride. In the battle of the 4 saints 10,000 years ago, not to mention her, even the other guardians who were stronger than her wouldn't dare to interfere. A single supreme saint could easily kill a few heavenly sovereign warriors, let alone 4 of them who had gone crazy. Ordinary supreme saints wouldn't dare to interfere, and they would hide as far away as they could. However, the fire dragon had obviously suffered damage to its origin, and its strength wasn't even 1/10 of its original strength. With the azure ancient profound bird's pride, of course, it instantly became furious. The fire dragon sneered, "How dare you appear in front of King 10,000 years ago?" These words were no different from adding oil to the fire. How many years had it been? Even the elders of the barbarian domain, who were famous for their brute force, would have to be polite to him if they met him. Now that this little fire dragon was mocking her, the azure ancient profound bird immediately let out a few sharp cries. Black flames burst forth from its body, as if it wanted to incinerate the void. The fire dragon's eyes instantly turned serious. The current azure ancient profound bird was much stronger than him. He was afraid that he would be seriously injured in just a single exchange. However, this black bird was too arrogant. If he didn't teach it a lesson, things wouldn't be easy for him in the future. With a thought, the fire dragon's huge dragon body suddenly started twisting. Flames were burning crazily all over its body, causing the space around it to sway slightly. The monstrous flames illuminated the sky, turning it red like a flaming cloud. Behind the soul-stirring beauty was an endless sense of danger. The aura of the azure ancient profound bird was a little stronger than the fire dragon. Each feather was like a sharp sword that pierced through the sky, containing a force that could destroy the heaven and earth. At this moment, the azure ancient profound bird spread its wings that blotted out the sky and covered the sun. In an instant, the sky darkened, and the light on the wings circulated rapidly. Rays of light that caused the heaven and earth to tremble shot out with a loud bang. Even though Xiao Yan was protected by the key of intimidation, he still felt an endless pressure from the key of the 2 ancient ferocious beasts. The vast and ocean-like qi rushed down from the sky, causing Xiaoyan's breathing to become rapid. His legs were slightly bent, and his entire body was drenched in sweat. Soon, his clothes were soaked. His lips were tightly clenched by his teeth, and traces of blood flowed out. Xiaoyan's eyes were unusually bright when he was enduring the qi of Hao Han, which made his 5 viscera and 6 stomachs feel uncomfortable. In his lower abdomen, the origin monarch crystal was slowly circulating. With the help of the key of intimidation, he quietly absorbed the key of the fire dragon and the azure ancient profound bird into his body to refine them. Just as the two parties were about to fight, the brown flame on the huge egg behind the fire dragon suddenly burst into a sea of fire. The raging flame turned into a fire dragon. The fire dragon moved its body. Hong Long. The moment the fire dragon came into contact with Saint Meteorite Mountain, it turned into a sky full of fire threads and melted between heaven and earth. In the next moment, under the surprised eyes of the fire dragon and the azure ancient profound bird, Saint Meteorite Mountain suddenly moved. A vast aura that could pierce through the blue sky spread down from the top of the mountain, carrying an incomparable pressure as it rushed between the fire dragon and the azure ancient profound bird. This aura was extremely majestic and vast, like an endless ocean. In comparison, the aura of the fire dragon and the azure ancient profound bird was somewhat unbearable to look at. The moment the qi appeared, the two mountain-like qi pressing on Xiaoyan's body instantly vanished. Then, under Xiaoyan's shocked gaze, Hao Han's qi slowly condensed into a blurry head. At the same time, an aged voice slowly sounded, as if it could crush the sky. Azure ancient profound bird, it was the little dragon who acted rashly just now. I hope you can bear with it and not see me off. The moment his voice sounded, the azure ancient profound bird did not wait for it to cry out in shock. This extremely sharp aura suddenly changed. It turned into a 10,000 feet large empty palm. The giant palm was pushed out horizontally, without a trace of power. But in the next moment, the space in front of the huge palm collapsed inch by inch. The black space black hole that could make one's heart tremble was revealed. The azure ancient profound bird was like a little black bird in front of the huge palm without any resistance. After a wail, the huge figure disappeared in an instant. Looking at the broken huge palm, Xiaoyan was shocked and his brows suddenly twitched. This energy was so familiar, it was soul energy. Soul energy. Sensing the power contained in the giant palm, it sent a forest domain guardian flying far away with just one palm. How powerful was this soul power? Xiaoyan couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. Under this soul attack, Zhao Qingshan's monarch emperor level soul was like a drop in the ocean. While Xiaoyan was exclaiming, he suddenly thought of something. His expression changed dramatically as he looked at the image condensed from his ki. Wasn't that ultimate saint expert dead? How could there still be soul energy? Before Xiaoyan could figure it out, the image suddenly dissipated. After that, Xiaoyan felt his vision go black and he lost consciousness. At the same time, the 3,000-foot-long fire dragon and the huge egg disappeared at the same time as the image disappeared. Saint Meteorite Mountain trembled slightly before returning to normal. Northern Forest Domain, in the sky above the large forest that had been peaceful for 10,000 years, the space suddenly shattered. In the next moment, a 10,000 feet large black sparrow shot out from the space. It flew for tens of thousands of miles before stabilizing its body. The azure ancient profound bird looked towards the southeast with lingering fear. When it thought of that simple and unadorned palm, it trembled slightly. After a long while, it screamed, "Impossible. Didn't he die 10,000 years ago? How can he still have consciousness?" The furious roar that contained the aura of a heavenly sovereign sounded like thunder, causing the countless spirit beasts below to let out a miserable cry. Their bodies exploded, turning into a ball of blood that danced in the air. After a long time, a powerful consciousness came from the far south. With a flap of the azure ancient profound bird's huge wings, this consciousness entered his mind. "Sister Sparrow, what's wrong? It's so big." Hearing this deep and powerful voice, the azure ancient profound bird coldly snorted and said, "The supreme saint who died 10,000 years ago. He actually still has consciousness. Just now, when I went to take a look, he sent me flying half of the forest domain with a palm strike." The existence in the distance heard this and paused for a moment. Then, a smiling consciousness came over. "What's so strange about that? The ultimate saint expert's consciousness could not be destroyed for 10,000 years, not to mention. That was an alchemist saint master who had once been famous throughout the various regions. It was normal for him to be able to do this with his powerful soul energy. You don't have to worry about him. The old ancestor once said, with his injuries, even a legendary expert of the mysterious realm wouldn't be able to do anything to him. After a few more years, he will naturally disappear. The azure ancient profound bird finally felt a little better. After muttering a few words, it flapped its huge wings and disappeared. Yunluo School. The moment Xiao Yan and the fire dragon disappeared at the same time, the jade bead in Elder Fang's hand shattered. At this moment, in a mysterious valley in the academy, a few old men wearing black robes were looking at the broken jade pearl in front of them with serious expressions. Elder Yi was at the bottom, looking at the few old men with eyes full of respect. When this bead broke, where was that little guy? A white-bearded old man opened his turbid eyes and looked at the jade pearl for a while, then asked. This jade pearl was specially designed for the saint rank trial participant by the Yunluo Academy, but it could be used to observe whether the trial participant was still alive. The moment the jade pearl broke, it meant that the trial participant no longer existed in this world. Elder Yi hurriedly replied, around the forest domain's Saint Meteorite Mountain. The few old men looked at each other in confusion. Another skinny old man shook his head and sighed, there isn't a single devil beast near the Saint Meteorite Mountain, and it's even more impossible for the heavenly beast to exist. Everyone knows about this. Since that's the case, there's only one possibility. It was killed by the other experts who came to the Saint Meteorite Mountain to seek treasures. The other elders nodded their heads after hearing this. Clearly, they agreed with what this elder said. What a pity. An old man with white hair at the top sighed and said, it has been more than 10 years since the heavens blessed the Yunluo. The saint rank trial participant that appeared with great difficulty has unfortunately fallen. Now, the strength of us and the other 3 academies' new students have increased. A bald old man beside him said without a care, being able to die in the vicinity of the Saint Meteorite Mountain is also because of his bad luck. No wonder he's the one who died. The old man in the lead glared at the latter, turned his head and said to Elder Yi, Yi Qing, how are the other 4 students who joined with that little fellow? Elder Yi thought for a moment and smiled. Although the academy gave the 4 of them very high treatment, their talent is really very strong. The strongest is already a middle stage 9-star fighting monarch, and the weakest is also a late stage 8-star fighting monarch. The old man nodded his head and thought for a moment before saying, if that's the case, don't tell them about the death of this trial participant called Xiao Yan. Since his talent is very high, let's wait until all of them have advanced to the sovereign realm and have them become official students, then send them to the outside world of the academy to cultivate. Yi Qing nodded respectfully, then turned around and left. Seeing Yi Qing leave, the elder in the lead suddenly sighed and said, the death of the only saint rank trial participant in the academy is also a big blow to us. Next year in 4 academies competition, we might face a huge crisis. The bald elder frowned and said, Great Elder, you are being too pessimistic. 10 students of the Yunluo Academy's realm in Valley. That one isn't a monstrous genius, and Yuyang is the saint rank trial participant from last time. Lin Dao and the others are also very talented, so they might not be able to fight against the other 3 academies. Mu Yuyang, Lin Dao and the others. That's true, but it's not like there aren't any experts from the other 3 academies who are in the same batch as them. Take the Southern Sky Academy as an example. Mu Yuyang might be able to fight Zhou Buyi. However, Lin Dao might not be able to defeat Lei Yunting. Furthermore, who should we send to fight this year's geniuses of the 3 courtyards? Zhou Xingyu, the little genius of the Zhou clan, has joined the Southern Sky. Sang Xiao Ocean of the Sang clan has also joined the Star Sky. Some of the princesses of some major powers have also joined Lu Li. The talent of these people is weaker than Mu Yuyang and the others. What about us? What do we have? The great elder's words instantly rendered the few elders speechless. Their eyes began to reveal a trace of seriousness. The Yunluo Academy's future was really not looking good. Without the saint rank trial participant, the Yunluo Academy might really be slaughtered by the other 3 academies. Chapter end. Hi guys, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.